Hi everybody, welcome to the video today. I want to start off by apologizing for not having posted a video for like a month. Not that my content is really highly sought after anyway, but I made a promise at the beginning of the year and late last year that I was going to start posting more frequently and have some better content, and that hasn't really materialized. So again, I apologize to anybody who actually watches this channel regularly and was expecting more from me. So where have I been for the last month? Anxiety. I have been so anxious for quite some time now, but especially over this last month, and it's really been beating down on my body. After all this COVID stuff, I've kind of started returning to work more normally, and working throughout the week, I'm not getting a whole lot of sleep, and how that is. Basically, if you don't get enough sleep, you're tired in the afternoon, you're catching up for it, on the weekends, or at least you think you are. And next thing you know, a month of your life passes by and you have no recollection of what you've even done. And I gotta tell you, you would think that it's not so complicated to be inside my own house, in my own home office, and sit in front of the camera and talk to it for a few minutes. But you would be wrong for thinking that. As a sufferer of anxiety, I gotta tell you, I will have all these ideas, all these things I wanna say or do and talk about. I sit down in front of this camera and I just shut down. So since we're talking about anxiety, let's get straight to what I wanted to talk about today. I'm gonna be making some changes in my life, some very basic but very important changes. And I'm gonna monitor it over the next 30 days and see how much it helps me with my anxiety. And maybe you'll wanna follow along with me and check in on daily progress. If not, maybe just wait till the end and see whether or not the changes that I made worked and helped me with my anxiety. And then it's something you can go back and watch these videos and just kind of take it on your own and see how it works for you. So the first thing that I lightly touched on just a minute ago is sleep. Sleep is important just to your life cycle in general. But when you have anxiety or like depression, because they kind of fall hand in hand, it seems like if you have one, you have the other. I certainly have both. And when it comes to sleep, it is especially important that somebody with anxiety gets enough of it. And see, one of my issues is breathing awareness. When I have my anxious episodes, I become aware of my breathing, and I always think it's hard to breathe, and I think that I can't breathe, and I'm having a heart attack, I'm having an asthma attack, and my mind just kind of wonders with, oh, what's the problem? I know what the problem is. It's anxiety. Everything just becomes tight, and it becomes hard to breathe, and I think about it too much, and then my mind just runs with that idea. So it's really easy for me to pick out when I'm having an anxious episode, especially if there's no really, any type of a trigger present, because breathing awareness kind of becomes a really big factor for me. And if I get 5.5 hours of sleep, which generally is what I get throughout the week when I'm working regularly, because I don't like to go to bed early or go to bed on time, whatever is meant by that. I always feel like I'm missing out on something if I don't stay up late. And obviously I'm missing out on nothing when I stay up late. I should know this after, who knows how many years, 30 years of doing it. I should know by now that I'm not missing anything at 2 o'clock in the morning. But I find it really hard to go to sleep at night. So I'm only getting about 5.5 hours of sleep throughout the week. And what happens there is, like I said, I'm almost immediately in anxiety mode as soon as I wake up, because I don't feel fulfilled like I got enough sleep. And carry that, because basically when you have an anxiety attack, or if you have like a panic attack, that ruins your whole day. So imagine waking up already feeling anxious. I'm already done for the day. And you know what? Yeah, I'm guilty of sleeping till noon, 1 o'clock, in the afternoon on the weekends, but you can't make up for sleep that you lost throughout the week. It's almost like going to get an oil change 20,000 miles too late. The damage has already been done. I could sleep for 36, 48 hours straight. That's not gonna make up for the entire week that I was not sleeping properly and the damage I did to my body and my mind by not regularly taking care of sleep. And sleep is one of the things that most people that suffer with anxiety overlook. The second thing that I'm going to be changing, and this is also something that is highly overlooked, is my diet. And most importantly, my caffeine intake. See, I drink soda all day long. I drink coffee. I like chocolates. And all of these things have caffeine in them. So I'm basically keeping my body loaded up with caffeine all day long. Caffeine's probably not the only thing to watch out for. Basically anything that produces energy that's maybe not like a natural type thing. And I'm not talking about taking supplements, I'm talking about just eating healthy and getting like B vitamins and so forth just regularly through your normal diet consumption. But I mean, taking supplements, drinking Red Bulls, drinking soda with caffeine in it, drinking coffee with caffeine in it, eating chocolate with caffeine in it, all these things that, you know, and especially with, you know, something like chocolate. I'm sure a lot of you eat chocolate. I eat chocolate. It's a comfort food, but it's got caffeine in it. You know, maybe not a whole lot, but it all depends on how much chocolate you consume in a sitting or how regularly throughout the day that you consume it. And next thing you know, you don't even realize you're contributing to your own anxiety because you're putting things in your body that are getting your metabolism up, your heart rate up, your fight or flight response, the whole thing that anxiety is. And another thing with diet that I found that's important for me because of my specific breathing awareness condition that I have is keeping my gut down, keeping my bloat down. You know, so drinking soda or, you know, eating dairy products and things that can cause bloat in my stomach is actually very problematic for me having the symptoms that I do with anxiety, because having that bloat puts pressure on my diaphragm, where most people don't really notice things like that. I do because I'm breathing aware. So when I have a bloated stomach or I have a gut that, you know, I need to kind of work and tighten up a little bit, it's putting pressure on my breathing muscle, and then that sends me into panic mode and anxiety mode because, you know, that's exactly what my problems and my symptoms are. But that kind of brings me to my third point. The thing that a lot of us overlook, and something that I'm going to start doing regularly, is exercise. I cannot stress enough how important exercise has been in my past when it comes to dealing with my anxiety symptoms. In fact, during a time in my life in my early to mid 20s, I had a really good healthy spurt where I felt good. I packed on some pounds, muscle, and you know, I felt really good. I felt like I looked good when I looked in the mirror. During these few years of my life, I don't even think I really remember dealing a whole lot with anxiety as being a troubling circumstance because it just wasn't really an issue. And during this time, I'd also quit smoking. So I mean, I got really healthy, you know, and I felt good about myself. Again, I felt good about the way I looked. And obviously the confidence booster like that in itself, you know, will kind of help you combat your anxiety because it's doing away with some things that can cause anxiety, such as like insecurities about yourself or physical appearance. You know, some people, you know, that's a trigger for them. But I was exercising a lot, not a lot, but regularly. I was exercising pretty much every day for a few years there. I was doing some muscle building stuff. I did very little cardio. Most of it was, you know, weightlifting, just dumbbells and doing push-ups against chimneys, fireplaces, and awkward angles. Anything I could do to find a way to work a different muscle on my body is what I was doing. So it didn't have to be cardio. But the thing about exercise is it gets your heart rate up. It gets, you know, everything that basically anxiety would cause, your fight or flight response. You know, you're getting your body worked up, only you're not fearing anything. It's all about just your metabolism and everything increasing, your blood flow, you know, getting there, more oxygen being delivered to your muscle tissue and everything. Anyway, but exercise in itself seems to be like an anxiety killer. Because if let's say cardio is the thing you go for. If you do 30 minutes of cardio a day, and I know it's a struggle to get to that. I mean, I've been trying to start working out again for like 4 years, and it hasn't happened. I understand it's a struggle, but if you can just find a way to get on that kick and just do some cardio every day, or just some sort of physical exercise that gets your heart rate up, what that's doing is you're already taking care of the symptoms that you would have if you were having an anxiety attack. Because again, anxiety is your fight or flight response. You know, everything starts racing and, you know, adrenaline gets, you know, flowing in your body. Everything that you would need to fight or to run, you're doing that when you're exercising. Minus the fight part, but you know, the run part. You're already working out. You're already getting your heart rate up, everything that you're doing for your body, which is healthy through exercise, you're basically taking the same symptoms that you would have with anxiety, but you're controlling them. And then of course, you know, it's kind of hard to have an anxiety attack after you've exercised for 30 minutes and you've already taken care of the physical aspect of what you would incur if you were having an anxiety attack. So, I mean, proper nutrition, proper exercise, proper sleep. And if you're kind of catching the theme here, this is something that we should all be doing anyway. It's just that maybe it more intensely affects people with anxiety, because like I said, if anything is off, if anything can trigger your fight or flight response at all, if you're an anxiety sufferer, it will. Wow, I hope that anything that I just said was somewhat comprehensible. I feel like I was kind of all over the place, and I don't even remember anything I just said to you. But if you watched the video this far, thank you very much for sticking around to hear everything that I had to say. I'm looking forward to taking this little month-long journey to see if it can change the way my life is going. And again, I hope that you'll join along with me. If not, stick around, subscribe to the channel, and just keep watching the updates and see if I do get my anxiety under control, because again, it's something that could possibly help you. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. Again, I'm so sorry that this upload was so late. See you in the next video.